Welcome in. Welcome in.
Ouch.
Happy Friday. Sorry, Nick. This is just more of a timely one because that just happened.
That literally just happened. Yeah.
Right when we were about to fire off the show here.
Yeah.
But the Yankees are no longer.
The Yankees lose. The Yankees lose.
The Yankees lose. Goodness gracious, God. But welcome in on a Friday. Hopefully you guys are gearing up for a nice action-packed weekend. Football, college football actually looks pretty good. NFL, first of all, they got bigger problems to figure out. But a good red zone morning for fantasy viewers. I think they got 7 games in the morning.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. We got the NBA Finals going on right now. If the Heat can sort of stave off the Lakers, and looks like they're giving them all they got. We'll update you on that. And we got the last 4 in the baseball playoffs set and a couple other little goodies for you along the way. So thank you guys for tuning in. First of all, I got to apologize. This is my fault that we started a little bit late. Was scrambling to get, and I was stuck at work a little bit, but, still mostly my fault.
Well, Ronnie, you know what that means.
I sure do. I'll take it. I'll take the stamp. That's deserved. But that's on me. It's fine. We'll power through. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
And Tyler, let's just start it off correctly, even though we're a couple minutes late. How was your day? I know probably a pretty good overall evening last night, which we'll get into as well. But how you doing today? And sort of what, just in broad strokes, what are you looking for over the weekend here in sports?
Overall, feeling good. Didn't have to stress out over anything today, which was nice. That comes with the Dodgers getting the sweep. Nice couple days of stress before my anxiety shoots through the roof against the Braves, but we'll get back to that. Overall, doing good though. It's not going to have any baseball this weekend. Depending on what happens tonight, may or may not have basketball this weekend. But still, good lineup of games for college tomorrow. NFL on Sunday. I won't say good lineup of games, but there will be NFL played on Sunday.
There are games. We got fantasy players.
Of course, yeah. We got the last race of the second round of NASCAR playoffs. We've got a UFC fight night tomorrow night with some title implications in the main event. So all in all, feeling pretty good. Looking forward to the weekend. Ronnie, outside of being stuck at the bank late, how are you doing?
Yeah, it was busy. It wasn't too terribly time-consuming until the very end, which sucked. But still pretty positive about last night. No hard feelings, Padre fans. But
not at all.
Dodgers did what they had to do. And I know, Padre fans, you were kind of behind the 8 ball there. Having your top 2 starters go down. Could happen to anyone. Could happen to the Dodgers. Could happen to any team. Plus, you think about they played a 60-game regular season. These injuries would probably be like in June in a normal year. So it's just bad timing. And the Padres can't say anything but literally doing everything they could. They set the record for most pitchers used.
11 pitchers in a game.
They were just running guys out, just playing whatever matchup, whoever could throw. That's kind of what my initial thought was going into it. And then Clevenger said he was going to go, then he gets hurt like the second inning of the first game, and it's kind of like, you really got to fill in some gaps here and figure out what's happening. Yeah. But that did set them back. A couple bounces go the other way. The Dodgers did get some bounces, but they were making plays. And everyone had the knock on the Dodgers wasn't late. They have to hit home runs to score. It wasn't like a big home run parade.
No, not at all.
Not at all. They were just going station to station. They had good pitching coming in, starters coming out of the bullpen, relievers coming out of the bullpen. They just put it together. So, that we are both Dodger fans and not looking forward to the Braves so much. They look very, very, very good right now.
They're very good team.
We'll see what happens. But I just wanted to reiterate, I don't have any beef with the Padres. I think they're going to be good for a long time. This is just from my personal standpoint. I could not deal with the Padres, God forbid, winning that series against the Dodgers or even winning some games because my phone is stuck receiving all these notifications anytime a fan or Padres radio network tweets anything out. This happens. Yeah, you can see this was like at midnight one night. And this is just a small sample. That happens all the time. So I didn't want to have that in my life. Fortunately, I don't. I'll do a Gratterall.
There you go.
I don't want to throw my hat off because it'll mess up my
Hey,
headphones.
F you! F you! F you!
Go back to your dugout. Oh, what a mess that was. But yeah, fortunately the Dodgers did pull that out, and they did show sort of that, well, can't say champion class because they haven't been champions in a long time.
Yeah.
But playoff built team.
Experience,
you know.
the chutzpah,
it showed out. I don't know, Tyler, what was your kind of bigger takeaway? I know for me I think the Dodgers were going to win that series.
Yes.
It probably would have been a little more entertaining if the Padres had more bullets as far as pitching goes.
Yes.
But still, I'm happy about the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, look, you said it, and I will never deny it. It's definitely a more competitive. It's a different series if Clevenger and Lamet are there, especially Lamet. Lamet always really gives the Dodgers problems. But, I kind of got some numbers here that Padres fans don't want to hear, but you have to hear it.
This is what they don't want to tell you.
Manny Machado, 2 for 12. Fernando Tatis, 2 for 11. Eric Hosmer, 2 for 13. Will Myers, 1 for 10.
So, yeah, kind of coming back to earth there.
Yeah, you can argue to the death about the pitchers, but the Padres couldn't hit. They couldn't get any hits. And, the few hits they did get, game 2, they got some long balls out there, but also one got brought back. But, that's a whole other thing. It was just Dodgers pitching, outside of Kenley Jansen and Adam Kolarek showed up.
And Joe Kelly, but that's still my boy.
He still got the out that he needed. No runs across.
It's always a breathtaking affair with Joe Kelly. Either way, there's going to be a fight or something real bad's going to happen for the Dodgers.
But like you said, yesterday, just the Dodgers bats showed up. Was it 12 runs on 14 hits, none of which were a home run, which that is massive in that ballpark going forward because that ballpark does not allow for home runs. So the fact that the Dodgers are manufacturing these runs absolutely looks good for them going forward. My boy Will Smith with 5 hits in one game, the first catcher to do that first Dodger catcher, in a World Series to do that. Maybe the first catcher ever. I'm not sure if Johnny Bench or Yogi Berra ever did. But anyway, just overall, thrilled. Obviously, I and a lot of Dodger Nation had some questions about Dave Roberts, pitching management, particularly at the beginning of Game 3. It worked out. So at the end, whatever, Julio came in and just absolute filth for 5 innings. So in the end, can't be too mad about it. Definitely happy with the performance in Game 3. Overall, happy with most of the performance throughout. Again, Kenley Jansen, who knows what's going to go on with him. For the last 3 years, Dodgers fans have been saying, he can't be the closer anymore. And now it looks like finally Dave, instead of always backing Kenley up when asked about it, he said, I'm going to think about it, which is more than he's said for 3 years now.
As far as Dave goes, that's pretty open-ended statement when it comes to Kenley. He's pretty much been loyal to him all the way. But we'll see what happens there. And there will be plenty of games, I'm sure, that will come down to, do you put him in there or not? What are we going to do right now? Because, the margins get tighter and tighter as you go on. But I don't want to really pile on Padres fans. It's my beef is just mostly with Padres Twitter, which is a ridiculous cesspool of degeneracy. But, most of the Padre fans that I know personally are not really a part of that.
Yeah.
And you got to say the future is looking bright. First of all, kind of got the rug pulled out from under you with the 2 guys going down right before. Clevenger tried, and he made that roster, but he just clearly was not physically up for it. And, and credit to him, too. Pitchers are always going to say they can go if they're even close.
Sure.
And he went out there and he tried, but it wasn't there. And then he felt, the bone chip or whatever thing going on. So, probably best to get some rest. But I mean, if you look at the team, Cronenworth really broke out this year. You pretty much have the infield locked up. At least contractually, I mean, Machado is still going to be a top-level player. Tatis is potentially an MVP.
Sure.
Hosmer is under contract for a long time and a capable player. He had a couple iffy moments, and Tyler mentioned his hitting in the series, not the best. But if Cronenworth, as young as he is, you got basically the whole infield's locked up. You have a catcher that is just not Austin Hedges. So
Nola's
that's
a hell of a
major
catcher.
upgrade.
Honestly,
Yeah, Nola,
when they got him in the trade, that kind of worried me because that series Dodgers had with the Mariners right before that trade, like he really impressed me. So when they got him, I was like, oh, that's not good. Like he's legit.
yeah, Nola kind of. I know a lot of fans of other teams. Just being around here, Padres, like working in the media and stuff, they're always like, "Dude, the Dodgers have all these guys like Barnes or Kike. They could just play like 5 positions.
Mm-hmm.
They're not elite level hitters, but they will give you. They're not automatic outs either. Like,
Right.
or they can pinch hit. They can just do whatever needs to be done. Nola kind of strikes me as that guy. He's just can play multiple positions. He was a shortstop before he ever, then he was a catcher in the major leagues after being in the minor leagues forever. And like I said, no one is as bad of a hitter as Austin freaking Hedges. I mean, he basically is like another pitcher in your batting order.
Might as well be,
run him out there. So, and then Will Myers had a nice resurgence. I think they do have a lot of young arms. That takes longer to sort of develop, but we still really haven't seen that much of Gore, who is like their number one untouchable guy. They're, generational type talent pitching potentially.
Right.
So you will be back again, and we'll have these ongoing battles, I'm thinking, for at least 5 to 6 years, depending on what happens. But no shame in that, Padre fans. Just kind of never really got going with the hitting, especially from your key guys. And the pitching situation was always a scramble to figure out who can actually pitch. And it was just sort of like slapping it together and let's see what could work. And the Dodgers just sort of outclassed them a little bit. But I do think the Padres will probably be the number one rival going forward in seasons to come for the Dodgers as far as the division goes.
Yeah. And then this next round, the Dodgers, of course, got the Braves, which, that's an absolutely scary team. I mean, you look up and down that lineup there, Ozzie Albies is their 9-hitter. Like, I know he's not having the greatest year, but he can turn it on any time. Of course, you got Acuna. You got the probable MVP in Freddie Freeman. Like, they've got a damn good lineup. Their pitching in the playoffs has been unreal. I mean, they haven't played the greatest hitting team so far, but I mean, still, even during the regular season, their team was insane. Like, right now in the postseason, they have their pitching staff has a .92 ERA with a .80 WHIP.
Yeah,
which that's actually this is a funny stat I found. That's the lowest ERA through 5 postseason games since 1919, when Cincinnati did that against the Chicago White Sox. Which, if the 1919 Chicago White Sox sounds funny, that's the team that intentionally lost, that threw the World Series. So they've got a whip that rivals that of a pitching staff that went up against a team that threw the World Series.
Yeah, the Braves definitely are, like Tyler said, I'm just going to enjoy these days off where I don't have to elevate my blood pressure.
Yeah, and then come
Monday.
Monday.
We'll start, and then, the extreme highs and lows begin again.
Yep.
I would have to say, well, at this point, every team left in it is capable of going all the way. We just had the Yankees get knocked out by the Rays. Yeah. They pretty much wire to wire have looked like one of the best teams in the entire league. The Dodgers, everyone knows about. The Braves also have been around for a long time. And the Astros, pardon the pun, the ultimate wild card, because they do have good players. I know everyone hates them, including myself and Tyler.
Yeah.
But hopefully, if the cheating is removed, Braden asked me this question, like, what would you do if the Astros won the World Series? I would say, well, in this case, I guess I would tip my cap. I wouldn't deny the fact that they blatantly cheated before, but, I mean, we'll see what happens. So anyone could pretty much take it at this point. I hope it's the Dodgers, but more than that, I just hope it's not the Astros. Let's be honest. That's my main thing I'm rooting for. Just anyone but the Astros.
Hey, look, preseason I said Dodgers Rays with Dodgers Rays with the Dodgers winning 5. I'm still going to stand by that. But I mean, yeah, like you said, look, if the Astros win it this year, do I like them? No. Do I respect them? No. Will I tip my cap if they win? Yeah. I mean, you win on the field, you win on the field. I mean, what else can you say? Yeah, that Astros Rays series is going to be interesting. Like the Rays, they're such a weird team. Like outside of Arozarena kind of like really making his name recently with all these, home runs. It's not a lineup that you look at and you're scared of. I mean, the pitching staff is unreal, top to bottom. They just have crazy pitching depth. But then they just got a bunch of guys out in the field that just get it done. So that, and I think that makes them dangerous. But it's like your worst guy is just a guy that will still get it done. That says something.
Yeah.
And, of course, the Astros, I mean, they've just been teeing off. I'll be interested to see. I won't say it's just the fact that they're playing at Dodger Stadium during the day, but they really teed off this last series against the A's. Sorry, Barron, that you're going to. I see the Barron's in here now. He's going to have to hear this. But I mean, in that series against the A's, Kevin Correa 7 for 14 with 3 home runs. Altuve 6 for 15 with 2 home runs. Springer 7 for 18 with 2 home runs. Bregman 6 for 15. Brantley 7 for 19 with 2 home runs. Just, I mean, as a team, they were batting .322 with a .594 slugging percentage. Like it's just when they turn it on, they turn it on. So I'll be interested to see if the Rays pitching can shut them down. I'm hoping they do because I really want that Dodgers Rays World Series. But yeah, it's kind of up there. Like you said, any of the 4 teams can win. If the Braves go out and beat the Dodgers in 6, I'll be very disappointed. I won't be shocked. I will be disappointed for sure.
Nothing is shocking when it comes to the Dodgers. That's why I say
not in the postseason. Yeah,
just anyone but the Astros. That's all I want. If the Dodgers win, that's just a bonus.
Yeah.
But we all know the backstory there, so we don't have to get into all that. But
Sure.
just please not the Astros. Anyone.
Anybody.
Couple of comments. Just I want to hit because we had some comments coming in.
Yep.
I missed them earlier. Nick coming in. Sorry about the Yankees again. Yankees Padres prediction down the crapper. Yeah.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah, it could happen again. Actually, could happen any of the next probably 4 or 5 years, probably.
Right.
Considering the trajectory, both of those teams are trending upward. I know the Yankees had a lot of injuries, and then they sort of just rallied back and got in the playoffs, and then they hit a million home runs. But the problem is
they have one starting pitcher, and then other than that, they just rely on their team to mash. So
you have Jaime. MLB playoffs haven't been boring. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Good storylines there all around. And again, the Baron. Sorry. I believe this is in regards to the Astros, which I don't think they look invincible. I think they're the 4 out of 4 of the remaining teams, but they do live to spite everyone. So who knows what they're capable of? They do have good players on the team.
True. Actually, another comment that I see Jaime put in here, we could actually get a Will Smith versus Will Smith matchup in the NLCS here, as the Braves do have the relief pitcher, Will Smith. So not the first time they would have met each other, but definitely a fun matchup to think about.
That's what the fans are clamoring for.
That's right, that double Will Smith action.
So should be a pretty good Final Four in baseball. I am looking forward to it. Once I have to watch the Dodger games, I'm not looking forward to the anxiety and the inevitable crushing depression. But it's softened over time. I'm at peace with what goes on.
So the ALCS will start Sunday, first game at 4:30. The NLCS will start on Monday, first game at 5 o'clock.
And let's go into – actually, let's I got to just check and see for my own sanity here what is going on in the basketball game.
Last I saw was a 3-point game, 82-79 Heat.
Oh, boy, it's getting good. Yeah, 82-79, just about to go into the fourth quarter. So looks like the Heat really pretty much put it to the Lakers in the second quarter. Third quarter was played pretty close, and the Lakers are hanging around. But the Heat, that's been like probably the most interesting thing about that team. Even with Dragic couldn't go, we talked about in the last episode, it was very sad to see him warming up, and then just clearly like anyone that's been in any kind of competitive sports and you just can't play in a big game, but you want to, I think could sympathize with that. Like he was obviously very upset by that. But the way Butler's going, I feel like he's just put that same like I am here to just kill everyone attitude in the rest of that team. Yeah. So you would think this is supposed to be like the coronation game where the Lakers just, oh, all right, gentlemen sweep, whatever. The Heat just aren't that team though. And it looks like they're, clinging to a lead and playing them tough. So we'll see what happens there. But speaking of just the, 1,000-foot view of this NBA bubble experiment, our favorite Twitter account of the bubble did announce their all-bubble first team. Had Darius Bazley, of course, young Whiteside, young Chefside.
The MVP.
Myers Leonard, the Hammer.
Yeah.
Let's see if I have the video here of that. I know I do somewhere. Just got to find it. The Big Hammer.
That's the Big Hammer. You hear me? Still got him. God damn it.
And Matisse also had some quality content there. And Boban, when he was in the bubble, also a lot of good social media content. I would put him up there with Taco as far as if you put someone that is just that physically gigantic in any situation, whether they're playing basketball, waving a towel on the bench, getting killed by a book by John Wick, it's entertaining. It's entertaining to see such a gigantic human do anything, really. If it's Taco Fall trying to bowl, they're trying to teach him how to swim at different times.
Playing beach volleyball.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you would think he's the ultimate net protector. But sure. No real disagreements there. And then I think they had, let me see if I have the second team, which we had, of course, J.J. Reddick, who started the shotgun craze.
That's right.
Jordan Clarkson, sort of a pretender to the throne, although he did introduce the concept of doing the shotgun on the 16-ounce beer, which very forward-thinking.
True.
Jimmy Butler, I mean, kind of that could be a snub for the first team as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, there's an argument there.
With the on-court performance and the whole coffee saga that's been going on, I kind of have to say he's first team. And then you have Terrence Ross and, of course, Taco Fall, which anything he does on video is going to be entertaining. We have to actually throw it up, too, because this was, like I said, the genesis of all the shotgun challenges was JJ in the ice bath doing the shotgun. Get it. And Chuck. You can always tell a Duke, man.
That's right.
Leaders are made. But I'm not too disappointed, although I feel like that Jimmy Butler one, he probably should be on the first team. But other than that, hopefully we don't have to do this bubble again, obviously.
True.
But I have made the most of it and enjoyed these guys just trying to figure out, first of all, what at all to do in the bubble, because you can't do anything.
Yeah.
And just guys just pretty much, look, we're here. If we're still playing, got to figure out something to do. We're going to go crazy from boredom. So I think the social media content that has come out of the bubble, I especially think back to the, who was it that had the, that wasn't Jamal Murray. Let me see here. Donovan Mitchell and Jaylen Brown's random encounters continued to happen because you can't get away from anyone in the bubble. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed just get out of here. Just get out. Actually, I probably still have that video.
He want to talk about me. Look at him. Creeping ass. Look at you. Look at you, bro. Talk about me fucking. I've seen you 5 times in the span of 30 minutes. Get out of here, bro.
just the ultimate creeper too. The beard and the flexing. It's just like, dude, leave. But there's no escape. You're all in the same bubble. So I enjoyed it. I don't know, Tyler, maybe what was your favorite moment outside of the games being played, which have been very good, I thought, overall.
Games very
I thought
good.
the NBA did the best they could do. But what have you enjoyed the most just as far as like the bubble life side of things?
I would definitely say, the obviously the what would you want to call it? Like the explosion of the personality of Hassan Whiteside has been very enjoyable. Also, and it was just a point you made of just kind of like seeing like what these guys can do to entertain themselves. Like I think on a show we had the other night, you were saying like LeBron's kids didn't want to go there because they were like, "What are we gonna do? Like we're gonna sit in our hotel."
It'll be too boring. Yeah.
Yeah. So like just kind of like seeing the creativity these guys come up with has been good. I mean, granted, look, they've been given obviously, great place to stay in, lots of forms of entertainment. There's arcade games, ping pong, all kinds of stuff. But still, just like kind of the creativity they're coming up with to entertain themselves has been very enjoyable.
And when you're used to being famous for one, pretty much can pay for whatever you want. The lifestyle these guys are used to when they're traveling around is completely different. Or even can just go back to their house, which would obviously be really nice. You can't do that. You're just holed up in a hotel. It's like, all right, practice, game, back to the hotel.
Yeah.
Hey, I went fishing today for the 20th time. Oh, I got a haircut. That was cool. So I did appreciate that as well. Just for the most part, guys sort of putting a smile on, just making the most of it. Like, we're here. It is what it is. We're playing this thing out. The season was pretty much done anyway when they went in there, so it's not like the baseball situation where they just had to kind of slap it together and go and play a little 2-month season. This does feel like a pretty legitimate conclusion to the season, along the lines of the NHL, although there was some reseeding, which kind of made it kind of weird in the NHL. But again, there's no home ice, which is huge in hockey or basketball, the home court advantage.
Right.
But yeah, just guys in that kind of, I wouldn't say it was totally just like a full-on frat house, but you're stuck there with just your teammates. There's nothing you can do. Another one of my favorite ones was Conley when he came back to the Jazz and he was quarantined across the
walkway. Yeah.
That was another just snapshot in time of like what it's like in that bubble.
That was good. Yeah.
20 feet away, can't even talk to him, can't see him, can't do. I mean, you could text him.
May as well be on the other side of the world.
Yeah. So just a weird experiment, but I thought for the most part, NBA pulled it off pretty well. I know they're losing a lot of money by just putting this thing on. We already talked about it costing them $1 million a day to run this thing with just the logistics that are involved. But, I mean, the product on the court, I thought has been pretty good. I know it's sort of an anticlimax with the Heat not having all their top guns out there for this. But I thought it's been a good tournament, and just the life off the court for us as fans has been entertaining. I enjoyed some of that little snapshot.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. It's been absolutely fantastic. We've been singing the praises of the bubble for pretty much this whole time. It's been run about as well as you can run it. I mean, obviously you got a couple issues of get some hot wings,
Lou Williams
wings, yeah. But I mean, overall,
he was grieving. Okay, he was grieving.
It's true.
And when I grieve, I look for comfort food. And
this
if
is true. Fair.
Those wings happen to be at Magic City, you have to go get them.
Plus, look, he may get a sponsorship out of this Magic because like people are going to want those Magic City wings now. So
the hype is real.
Yeah, but now all in all, very impressed with Bubble. May not be over tonight. Maybe over tonight. We don't know. Last I saw, it looked like the Heat kind of got a little bit of a lead again. Yeah, they're up by 10 now.
10 minutes left.
So we'll see what happens. But overall, NBA, massive thumbs up. Great job with the Bubble.
Agreed on all fronts there. Nicely done. Let's take a look at some football. Actually, I don't have I was trying to get a graphic here for let's see if I can find it somewhere. I don't have for the top 25 matchups going on this weekend, but a nice little weekend of college football. I would say the one that I know right off the top of my head is probably game of the week, and still, I mean, edge to Clemson, but Clemson, Miami looks very enticing on paper. I think Clemson was like 12-point favorites or something like that last I saw.
Sounds about right.
Miami maybe could cover that. I don't think they're going to win that game, but I think it's going to be entertaining. And, sure. Miami, when they're always on these sort of little fits and starts of like Miami, the U is back, they're going to be fired up for that game. They want to prove something to Clemson, who's been not just top dog in that division, but one of the national top dogs for several years now. So that could be very entertaining, but a good slate of college football over the weekend.
Yeah. I got a few games that kind of like really caught my eye, and most of them were all top 25 games here. We got number 4 Florida is going to be at number 21 Texas A&M. See if A&M can bounce back after getting beat by Bama. Florida's looking good so far this year as well. So this is going to be kind of like the real litmus test here for A&M of like, all right, like everybody gets beat by Bama, but how do we stack up against everybody else? We got number 19 Virginia Tech at number 8 North Carolina. God,
North Carolina
being a top 10 team is just like, that's still so weird to me. This game has lost some of its luster, of course, but you always got to keep an eye on the Red River rivalry. With, number 22 Texas taking on unranked Oklahoma. See how Spencer Rattler recovers from 2 consecutive losses.
Whoever wins, I feel like it's going to come down to some terrible bungle by the other team. So that could be entertaining.
And also, whoever wins, either way, Texas is back.
Texas is always back. Never forget that. Please remember that.
In a perpetual state of being back.
Of backness.
We also got number 14 Tennessee, which that one sounds weird as well. I actually haven't gotten to see much of them this year, so I don't know if they're legit or not. But they're going to be at number 3 Georgia. So again, kind of a real test for them to see where they stand. Of course, you mentioned Miami and Clemson. That's a number 7 versus number 1 battle. And then number 2 Alabama will be at Ole Miss. So that'll be a Saban versus Joey Freshwater matchup. So we'll see. Kind of want to keep my eye on that one. But it's going to be a solid night. I mean, those games I listed, those are kind of all spread out through the day. So you're going to have definitely some good ball going on all day on Saturday.
I will say, just in regards to the Ole Miss Alabama game, Alabama's going to win. There's no real confusion about that, but it will be interesting to see. They always do the with the marshals coming out, the handshake. How's that going to go down? Lane Kiffin is a weird dude. Nick Saban kind of seems like he doesn't like anything at all.
Although apparently he loves D's nuts jokes, from what the former players have said, which I find hilarious.
He has a weird, like, when you hear from people that actually played for him or coached with him, kind of like a Belichick, like, oh, you don't see like this Belichick side, where he just, like, let off some totally unexpected joke where everyone was like, so there's those stories out there about Saban, too. I feel like the Lane train is going to pull out some kind of, have a couple little tricks up his sleeve, but they're just not going to be able to hang with him. But it'll be interesting to see if he's got some trick plays or just something to kind of poke at Saban and just sort of stir things up. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. But, again, good slate going up on Saturday. Then on Sunday, we got, of course, NFL. Kind of touched on it earlier. On paper, not that many good games this week. Of course, right now, I'm sure the NFL is not the NFL is just focused on getting games out there.
Just make it through the season. Yeah.
Which, if you can see on there, if you'll notice, we have 2 games on Monday and 1 game on Tuesday.
Thanks, Titans.
Yeah, because of the Titans bungling of handling, quarantine and COVID, they've had to move the game to Tuesday, and that's assuming that they don't have any positive tests between now and then. They may have to push that back further. Which, seeing that how the Titans broke their quarantine protocol, 30 people met up at their facility where they weren't
literally immediately. The day after, the NFL was like, just don't do anything. Everyone stay home. Don't go to the facility. The next day, they had this like high school field practice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we'll see how that goes. And there was a great Reddit post I saw talking about how, Tennessee hasn't faced any punishment, which we were talking before the show, like there's going to be something levied down to Tennessee, especially if they have any further issues where they have to postpone or make up games, like there is going to be something coming down on Tennessee, whether it's draft picks, fines, whatever, forfeits, we don't know. But there's going to be something coming down. But somebody pointed out that as of right now, kind of their bungling has screwed over multiple teams other than them, just on the scheduling and everything so far. It was a Reddit user named Noma's Beta, which I actually hadn't seen that. Noma, spelled Nomah, Beta spelled BET.
I mean, that's how you spell it.
Yeah, of course. But so right now, the Bills followed protocol. Now they have to prep for 2 games simultaneously. They'll be playing 2 games within 5 days, with a game on Tuesday and a game on Sunday. The Chiefs have followed protocol. They had to play against a team with known positive COVID tests, still in the incubation period after a last-minute ineffectual delay. Now they may be playing 3 games in 10 days. The Patriots followed protocol, had to play during the incubation period after a known positive, had to transport players on a shared plane, which, of course, that screwed everything up as well. The Steelers followed protocol, lost their bye week because of the Titans. As of right now, Titans, no punishment. So, nice job, Goodell. That's, something's got to happen to Tennessee here, Goodell. Don't let this be a MLB Astros thing.
Well, there's definitely going to be fines, first of all. I mean, big time. But I think the draft pick thing is also a very real threat because this has already screwed up the NFL so much.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, hopefully this is like the extent, at least for the Titans, because if you're going to keep playing, other players are going to get it here and there. It's going to happen because of, how infectious this thing is.
Sure.
But the Titans are just like torpedoing the league right now. You could, I mean, look at this thing. I had to take the banner off so you could fit in the Tuesday game. And if, like Tyler said, if that game even gets played, if they don't have any more positive tests. So an interesting thing that I did here was if they cannot play that game, the option is on the table. They would have to forfeit that game to Buffalo. So Buffalo gets the win, but then it voids both teams' win totals as far as betting goes.
Yeah.
So now you're really getting into the NFL's money, which is betting and fantasy football. I mean, we've talked about it. Even if you don't have Red Zone, even if you don't have the Sunday ticket, there's ways to watch. But
there's ways.
So, yes, the NFL makes money off TV. We get it. But gambling and fantasy football is really where the money's at. And this is affecting both of those. And NFL is going to hit them in the wallet at least, and probably on the draft board. I got to think there's going to be draft picks taken away.
Yeah, that wouldn't be surprising at all. I mean, that is a strong way to hit teams. It's not.
It's huge in the NFL for the draft picks.
I mean, especially like first 2 rounds. A lot of guys go in the 5th, 6th, 7th round. If they turn into adequate players, you consider that success. But yeah, if they get first and second round players taken away, that's going to set Tennessee back hard for several years. So that'll be interesting to see. But as far as the games that we do know are happening this week, I got to say, there were only 2 games that really jumped out to me. One of them is Indianapolis at Cleveland, which I can't even believe I'm saying.
Believe it, 2020.
But both teams sitting at 3-1 right now. Indianapolis just has a awesome defense, okay offense, awesome defense. Cleveland, of course, they have all that talent. That offense can explode at any minute, which they did last week. But again, everybody's going off against the Cowboys, so that's whatever. But that's definitely going to be an interesting matchup. And the other one, and again, this is assuming it even happens, is that Tuesday matchup with the undefeated Buffalo Bills and the undefeated Tennessee Titans. Those were kind of the 2 ones that really stuck out to me as like, okay, I got to watch these games this week.
Yeah, the Titans one especially because, for one, the novelty of Tuesday. Yeah. But 2, just more of like a curiosity. Like, I know Vrabel has already been saying, I mean, just from a numbers standpoint, we're talking about there's going to be like practice squad guys at least active because they have like 5 starters that tested positive on either side of the ball. So just to fill out a roster capable of playing an NFL game, like what is that going to look like? Yes, Tennessee is good, and they've been good for at least last year. They were really good. And since he's come in there, they've been trending upward. Henry is sort of put them on their back, and just a good team. But like, who knows what they're going to look like? Yeah. And it's Tuesday, and the whole thing is just super weird. The main thing, it's not really one game that really stands out. Again, kind of as a curiosity, the Giants-Dallas game. What are we going to see there? Because of whatever is going on in that division, where anyone could win it. Someone's got to win it. Like, legally, someone has to win it. And
wait, no, do they though? Do they? Because Philadelphia would argue otherwise.
Yeah, maybe the NFC East is just hoping that the league doesn't make it through the season at this point. Like, all right, let's give it up. But I will say, fantasy standpoint, at least for this week, we don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, at this point, the morning is going to be packed out. 7 games going off, so red zone should be pretty popping. I am looking forward to that. Hopefully I get some red zone time just to bounce around and refresh on my phone and get mad when my guys have drops in the red zone or turnovers, all the usual, all the hits. But just more the collective of the huge group of morning games. I'm kind of looking forward to that, but no real like mega matchups that stand out to me.
Yeah, just one of those weeks that, if you're a fantasy owner, of course you're watching with your full attention, but definitely nothing that stands out as far as like must see. Of course, who knows? Maybe the games will turn out to be really good, but just on paper, nothing that's kind of like game of the year potential.
Yeah, even usually you would think like the Sunday night game kind of grabs you. That's usually the NFL's like showpiece game of the week. Sunday, Monday Night Football, and then Thursday's like, you're just going to watch it because just watch it.
Because we know you'll watch it.
What else are you going to watch? You got to bet on something, you losers.
You degenerates.
Yeah. Which I get in NFL. That's fine. I'll take it. I will still watch it. I was watching the Dodger game last night, but in normal circumstances, I would be that guy watching it.
Sure.
But yeah, even Saints, Chargers is the actual Sunday night game.
Yeah. No, sorry, that's on Monday.
Oh, night. That's Monday. That's Monday. That's right. There's 2 on Monday.
Yeah.
So what do we have on Sunday? Oh, Seattle, Minnesota, which when they drew up the schedule,
on paper it looked great. Yeah.
Looked tasty, but now Minnesota's reeling.
You know what? Seattle's secondary's been a little sus, and Jefferson from Minnesota's been kind of balling out. So maybe they could turn that into a game. Who knows?
Hopefully, it's a little more interesting just as a game, because most of my fantasy for the day will be wrapped up at that point.
True.
And it's nice to have a competitive game at the end. I mean, like we said last week, the Eagles-49ers game, definitely not a classic football game, but it was close, and it was weird.
It was.
I was enjoying it in that regard. There's always something to take away from these.
By the way, yeah, your Lakers have taken the lead.
Oh, man.
6 minutes left, up by 1.
All right. Well, we will see how much longer I can go without having to run inside and watch on TV. Couple other little things I wanted to hit on. Actually, Tyler sent me this, and as you know on the program, we are huge fans of Bryson DeChambeau, a.k.a. Bryson DeChambeau.
Bryson DeChamp, bro.
The champ, bro. Thank you.
Yeah.
U.S. Open champion.
Yep.
I believe, as you know, the man that leaned
Valley
on the driver and broke it with that Valley strength.
Yeah.
Again, I still love Ricky Fowler. Just like, whoa, bro. Take it easy, man.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah. And then the lean down of shame. He has
I got some abs.
He's got abs. But this happened today on the range before the round. And apparently they had to back him up because if you look at the tweet, I don't think this has audio on it, so
It doesn't.
it's 360 yards to the fence, which he was hitting over easily. They backed him up 40 yards. And then, of course, afterwards, he was like, I still had to kind of ease up on it a little bit. But what course can hold that man? I don't know. That's Valley strength for you.
I want to see him and the jackhammer just going off on that driving range there.
That would be, I don't know, the universe.
Boom!
Bam! Boom! Boom, baby!
It's hammer time.
That is the match we all want to see. Hopefully someday
yes.
we get to see it. But DeChambeau just out there just crushing him for all of us.
It's like, I gotta imagine that's like, remember when when spring training was a thing back in the days of yore, and you saw that clip of Mike Trout. You saw that clip of Mike Trout teeing off at Topgolf, and the ball just disappeared like as soon as he hit it. That's got to be what it's like watching DeChambeau drive out on a range like that. Just like as soon as he hits it, you're like, I can't even see it anymore. It's gone. It's fucking gone.
I would just watch him. Also, I like the idea that however many drives he hit to where someone decided you're gonna have to back up because you're hitting it too far. Then they back him up, and he's like, all right, cool. I'm still working on the driver. Like, what is to work on? You hit it a mile every time. Like, let's try out some of the other clubs, champ. You know,
right? Let me get my 9-iron out here and see.
I usually mix it up when I go to the range. It's like, all right, we take one of the big clubs, driver 3-wood, and go down to like a small club and just try to like switch up. You know, where you approach the ball, stand closer, further away.
Sure.
No, he's just out there to hit tanks, and then just right to the first tee. All right, let's go. I'm ready.
That's it. And look. One of the reasons I love him, he is the successor to John Daly. John Daly, endlessly entertaining. Dude just goes out there and he just drove the shit out of the ball. He had no short game, which DeChambeau seems to have a better short game than John Daly ever did. But definitely a fan of that guy. He's, of course, representing the Valley. Gotta give it up for that as well.
Valley strong.
Modesto's favorite son.
Well, I'm going to have to just cut it because I got to see the end of this.
I understand. Yeah, we got about 4 minutes left here. I don't want to keep Ronnie from watching his team winning a championship, so definitely fine with cutting the show early today.
Hopefully. We'll see what happens. But thank you guys again. I know as things sort of come back to normal, being in on a Friday night to watch the show is not as easy as it was where it was just everyone's home. Thank you guys always calling, commenting, even in the off days, hitting us up on Twitter or Facebook if you see me on there. Any ideas, kick them my way. But thank you guys as always. Have a good, safe weekend. Enjoy whatever kind of weird NFL Sunday we're going to have. And college football's got some, little juicy morsels out there. And baseball playoffs. We're in the Final Four. So you guys be safe and enjoy the weekend. And Tyler, I will give you the last word before we get out of here.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Enjoy the weekend. Be safe. Have fun. You guys know the drill. As always, keep the fire.
At the buzzer.